don't you dare put your foot in this bucket. Because it has such a lovely... Quick, go faster! It's perfect. Hello, welcome back to Sage and Stone Homestead. If you have not met me yet, my name is Heather. This video is part of a collaboration put on by the Inquisitive Farmwife called Dipcember, and I need to go get one of my ingredients, the main ingredient for homemade caramel. The handle.
Up on the
grass, yeah. More on this situation later. Good afternoon, Mama's goats. How are you all? Yeah, are you the queen hay waster? Don't touch. Winnie. What a mess and a half these goats are. You guys enjoying the sunshine outside? So we are going to be making a homemade caramel sauce today called Cajeta. And I am getting my milk from the barn. This is my grocery store. But you can make this with store-bought milk. It does not have to be goat's milk. You can do cow's milk. I think it's technically dulce de leche if you make it with cow's milk, but it does work great and the effect is the same. Have any of you made that caramel sauce? I think it's with sweetened condensed milk where you put the can in a pot of boiling water for a little bit and then you can open the can and you've got caramel sauce. This is the homemade version of that. That kind of thing is really awesome to dip pretzels in, to dip fruit in, and I honestly really like dipping things like cheese in something like that. It sounds weird, but don't knock it till you try it. Man, don't you dare put your foot in this bucket. I started using this smaller milk pail. Earlier in the year I was getting more milk every day, and so I had my 2-gallon milk pail out here. This is the 1-gallon milk pail. A lot easier for big goats like Elsa to put their feet in the bucket. And if she does that, we can't use the milk to make the caramel, we have to feed the milk to the pig. Good morning. It is actually the next day at this point. We didn't necessarily need the milk to chill in order to make the caramel dip or caramel sauce, but it just happened to be chilling because I couldn't make the caramel until today. I dropped my cinnamon sticks, but here's our inventory of ingredients. Cinnamon stick, this is optional. some baking soda. A lot of recipes call for sugar. I've made cajeta with honey before and it works very well. I like to use as much as I can from my farm, and so we're going to be using some of our super dark honey. This is fall honey that we recently harvested, and then obviously our goat's milk. Now, one of the more important things to keep consistent is the type of vessel that you use. You want it to be big and you want it to have a heavy bottom. It is going to kind of bubble and froth up a little bit and you don't want it to boil over. There's nothing worse than a caramel that sticks to your hot stove. And kind of on the same note, a heavy bottomed pot is going to prevent scorching of your milk as it's heating up. I like to use mason jars as measuring cups. I do have measuring cups, but very frequently, especially when I'm measuring liquids, I will just grab a mason jar. We're going to be using a total of 1 quart of milk, but we start out with a pint, which is 2 cups. We've got a ½ teaspoon of baking soda. This is the reason that we may get some frothing once this milk heats up. As part of the chemical process of making the caramel, I don't know the science, it's just in the directions. 1 cinnamon stick. We will strain that out later, or pick it out later. And then 1 cup of honey. Like I mentioned, you could also use sugar. I have never tried it with any kind of sugar substitute other than honey. I think that something that's going to thicken up when boiled is part of the important process. You're kind of making candy essentially, and I know that this honey does work, but I've not tried any other thing. I chose this dark honey specifically today because it has such a lovely, robust, kind of nutty, molassesy flavor that is going to be really great in this caramel dip. Speaking of, how do you guys say it where you're at? Is it caramel or is it caramel? And if there's another way to say it, let me know. Normally, you really wouldn't want to heat up honey because you'd be destroying kind of the beneficial properties that are in the honey, all the enzymes and things. But we're not trying to make a health food here. Just trying to use what I produce here on my farm. The color is already starting to change, and it really has nothing to do with caramelization at this point. It's got everything to do with that super dark honey. So I've just got my stove on medium high. I am not known for my patience, so I may crank up the heat. If you are going to do the same thing, make sure you know your stove. Make sure you know that you can. I very frequently just blast my stove on high. Actually, one of my burners doesn't turn down. It just lives on high. So I think I've kind of learned to cook with high heat pretty well. So yeah, as you saw, I just reached over and cranked it up. But the recipe does say to heat it at medium high. And you don't have to stir the whole time, not at this point. I will say, in all of the times that I have made cajeta before, it has never foamed up like the recipes and other videos that I've seen have said that it will. It hasn't ever like threatened to boil over. Now, I know that the acidity of milk is technically an acidic product. The acidity of milk does increase over time, and because I'm using super fresh milk, it's probably the least acidic that it would be in its entire lifespan, and so that can contribute, since baking soda with an acid usually creates kind of a exciting reaction. It's a little less exciting, I guess, when you use super fresh milk like we are. So if yours looks more volcanic than mine, it's probably still fine. It smells really good already. Yeah, this is about as much bubble as I'm getting. I'm just gonna keep stirring until the bubbling subsides, until we just get more of a boiling milk situation, and then we can add the other 2 cups of milk. Have any of you guys made those candied pecans? That's another one that has a different term depending on where you're from. Pecan. Have you ever made those before? It smells like that in my house. It smells like I am toasting nuts with sugar and all that in it. I'm not, but that is a very welcome scent in my kitchen. All right, here's the bubble now. It's more like a boiling milk and less like a foam. So I will add the other 2 cups of milk. This is cold, so it's gonna calm things down for a little while. I've still got it on high. Once we come back up to a boil, that's when we'll turn it down and allow the caramelization process to take place. Okay, we've got a little bit more of that foamy bubble going on with that addition of the milk. That's probably why they have you split it up, so that it's not an absolute crazy volcano. At first, dividing up the reactions is probably smart, but our pot here is nice and big and an over bubble so far doesn't look like it is imminent. At this point, I'm not stirring constantly. I'm just stirring every once in a while. We're going to notice a change in the way that the bubbles are popping. It's like as it thickens up, we have less of a loose pop and more of like a crackly or thick pop. I'll make sure to show you that. And once we get that kind of consistency, I will be stirring much more frequently so that we don't scorch the caramel sauce. Really, you can thicken this to your liking. In the past, I've made it loose enough to where when it's refrigerated, I can still very easily scoop it out of the jar cold and pop it in my coffee. You could make it thin enough to where still cold, it would drizzle like on top of ice cream. You could thicken up pretty tough, I would guess. I've never tried to thicken it up super tough to have like a hard candy of sorts, but I would guess, I mean, if you cook it down, that's probably what's gonna happen. What we're looking for the purposes of today is something that you could pull out of the fridge and easily scoop up with an apple slice. So right about the same consistency that I've made on video before. That's what we're looking for, and I'll of course show it to you. While this is cooking down, I will take the opportunity to let you guys know all about the collaboration. So as I mentioned, this Dipcember collaboration is put on by Angela at the Inquisitive Farmwife. And if you've never been part of a collaboration before, they're very cool. I personally think that YouTube is less of a competition and more like we're all colleagues really reaching for the same goal, which is to inform people that don't know about some of the things that they don't know about. And any one person isn't really capable of informing you on all the things. So when people from different backgrounds and things can come together and teach something really awesome that they think is really cool and that they know is really good from their experience, that's really, really valuable. So that's what this is. Lots of different creators coming together, showing their favorite dips of the season. And the hope is to inspire and spread the love of these recipes that have created memories in our own homes. So I will link all of the channels that are participating in Dipcember. I believe it's just one channel a day posting for the full entirety of December. And like with a lot of collaboration that I've participated in, there is the option or, ooh, we are starting to bubble. Hang on, let me turn this down. Here I am talking like we're never gonna boil over, and we're starting to. Like a lot of collaborations that I've participated in, there is a prize to be gained at the end of the collaboration. The prize winner will be drawn from some of the unique comments that are made on each of the videos throughout the month. So make sure you watch the videos throughout the month as they are posted. Subscribe to those channels, make your genuine comments, and tune in to the Inquisitive Farmwife channel on January 1st to see if you are the winner. Alrighty, can you see the difference in the bubble? It's kind of a rolling type, thicker bubble. It's not as thick as it will be when it's done, but it is starting to kind of stick to my spoon. You can see it kind of sticking to the back of the pot over here. The recipe says that this should take 2 hours. It's never taken that long for me. It usually takes around 20 or 30 minutes to get it to the consistency that I like, which is a good consistency for a lot of different applications. This is what we're looking like now. We have nice thick bubbles that have kind of like a crackly pop to them. There's not like a lot of foaming. And as you can see, it is sticking to the side of the pot. This is going to thicken up in the refrigerator quite substantially. I'm gonna stick the back of a spoon in here. See how it's sticking? That looks pretty good. We're coating the back of a spoon quite thoroughly. Oh, this is very good with that dark honey. So I've set up over here what I believe is going to be a vessel that is big enough for the caramel that we have. This is only a quart. We did start out with a quart of milk and then a cup of honey, but it has been boiling down, so I think this will be good. And I have a strainer up here to strain out any bits of the cinnamon stick that may have come off during the cooking process. You can see the bottom of the pot, and that section takes, you know, a little bit to fill up with caramel. It's thick. It's sticking up really fast as it's cooling down, so I'm trying to move quickly here. See all those little pieces in there? That's all cinnamon stick. And I, for one, really like cinnamon, but I don't think I'd want to crunch down on that. Caramel is supposed to be smooth. And you know, as I'm sitting here thinking about it, this is all we got. It's less than a pint, less than 2 cups. And it didn't take 2 hours to cook down. It might have taken 20 minutes, which is absolutely crazy. But because we're using this as a dip, normally I use this to put in my coffee, I think it would be best if we stored it in a bowl that we could easily dip out of. I need to move fast, it's getting thick. The caramel sauce has been chilling for about 1 hour and 40 minutes at this point. That's a little drop of condensation on there. You can see how things have really thickened up. And I do have a selection here of my favorite dippables for the caramel sauce. The favorite really is the apple. So I will do the honors of breaking the surface. It's perfect. You can even see that we've got a little trail left in the caramel sauce. It's good and thick. I will say my favorite part about cajeta is that you can eat stuff with it and it's not like it's so sticky and tacky that your teeth stick together when you're chewing. I don't know if maybe that would happen if you use sugar, but it does not happen with this honey. Pretzel, a little bit of sweet and savory going on. It's all really, really good. Honestly, the sweet and salty, I think I prefer that more than the apple. And then this is some of our Colby cheese that we've made with our goat's milk. It's really interesting to see goat's milk processed into 2 completely different products. Oops, we've broken the cheese. I know this sounds strange. It's really good. It's a lot like the sweet and salty combo, except for it's more sweet with like an umami and an acid mixed all in. I hope that makes sense. In any case, the cajeta is delicious. And it was very, very simple to make from ingredients from our farm. And as I mentioned, you can make this with store-bought ingredients, even cow's milk. If you don't have access to goat's milk at all, you don't have to use goat's milk. You can totally use store-bought cow's milk. It's fine if it's pasteurized, it's fine if it's ultra pasteurized. And if you do try it, please be sure to let me know. Also, please don't forget that this video was part of a collaboration. I have linked the collaboration playlist. My mouth is watering. That's hysterical. I have linked the collaboration playlist underneath of this video. You can give that a click. You're going to want to check that daily. Watch the videos, make your genuine comments, and then make sure you watch the Inquisitive Farmwife channel for the giveaway. They're going to be doing a random comment generator off of one of the collaborator videos. January 1st. That's when you should tune in to see who's won the prize. I don't know what the prize is yet, but I imagine it's going to be a good one. For super easy access to, here is the collaboration playlist. And if you happen to be interested on how this cheese is made, I have this video here too.